Hey, how y'all doing? We back with another episode of The It Factor, man. I'm your host, Jeremy. And today we have a great young lady that actually I was able to reach out to on IG, Mrs. Tanya Powell. Can you introduce yourself?
The fact that you just called me young makes me feel really special. So thank you for that, because I'm not young. I'm not going to say my age, but I'm not young. So
Right.
thank you
A
for
woman
that.
never tells her age.
Pardon?
A
Say
woman
again?
never tells her age.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my name's Tanya. I'm a software engineer. I work at a company called Harry's Inc. It's a online male grooming company. So razors, shower gel, things that men like to keep them clean, I should say. Like, let's be specific.
Yeah, so that's amazing, man. What made you want to major in media production first? Like, first off.
So when I was growing up, for most of my education, there was no such thing as the internet. So
Mm-hmm.
my view of the world came through television, and my view on different types of careers were really limited. So like, generally where I came from, if you made it by working in admin. And I was like, oh, that's a big deal if I'm working in admin. But I also knew that that wasn't for me. And I
Right.
always loved television, I loved movies, I loved music. I knew I didn't want to do any of that. Like, I didn't want to be in front of the camera, but I was fascinated with what goes on behind the scenes. How does this get made? How does it go from being an idea to actually on my TV screen?
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to understand that process. So I don't know if you know much about the educational system in England. I should have said it in my
Yeah.
introduction that it's in England, right?
Go
I
ahead
didn't say
and tell us
that.
a little bit about that. You didn't.
I didn't say that. All
Break
right, let
down
me
a little
start.
bit.
Go back. Let's rewind it a bit. Yeah, I'm based in London,
Okay.
England.
We moving on. We out the country with the effect. It's amazing. Yes, sir.
International now, different continent.
Right.
Oh my God, what's I saying? My attention span is so bad.
Oh,
Oh, so
education and
yeah, so the education system in England is different from the education it is in the States.
mhm.
So at 16, we finish school.
Oh,
And yeah, so we finish school at 16. And after 16, you can continue in education, but you can follow different paths, there's different routes.
mm-hmm.
So, or routes, as you guys say.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the traditional route, I'm going to say route because it's going to confuse me if I say route. So, the traditional route in the UK is finish school at 16, and then if you achieve a certain number of grades, then
Mm-hmm.
you're able to study something called A levels, which is advanced level qualifications, and that's 2 years. And after that, if you again reach certain grades, then you can progress to university. So that's the route that I took to get into media productions. At 15, 16, and my birthday is very late in the school year as well. So I was 15 making these life choices, like what do I want to study at my A levels that's going to take me to university? Not even thinking that I would ever get to university because I didn't know any black people that went to university.
Oh
I
man.
didn't think that this is what we did. It doesn't really matter because it's not what we do.
I got so many questions now. Like I'm just.
Because
So why was it? Why was it that you didn't see any blacks that went to university?
where I grew up in quite a poor area.
Okay.
So that just wasn't,
That wasn't a normal
it
thing.
wasn't, it wasn't the norm for us.
Mm-hmm.
It was finish school, get a job.
So
And finish school at
you beat
16,
you beat the
finish
system.
school at 16, maybe do some other qualifications for like 2 years, but by 18, go get a full-time job. That
Wow.
was that was what I grew up seeing around me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that wasn't for me. And my mum certainly knew that wasn't for me because when I was 17, she was like, you better hurry up and start thinking about what you're going to study next because you are not emotionally mature enough
Mm-hmm.
to work full time. So she's like, you better continue with that education. So I was like, okay, don't really have a choice, do I? You're telling me.
Wow.
So how I got into media production to actually finally answer your question was, yes, I wanted to understand how something went from being in someone's head
mm-hmm.
to finally being on my screen. So I was like, media production is a great route. That'd be a great way to find out how it happens.
That's amazing, man. Like I have to do my research on knowing how certain education is worked outside the country, but I actually had the opportunity in high school to meet some people that came to our school, like an exchange program,
Mm.
like a year. And they told one of my friends, he's from London, he actually told me about how he could get like, we joked, he was like, I can get liquor at this age, I can do this at this
Yeah.
age. And I was like, huh? And he was like, yeah, I'm still deciding if I'm gonna go to college or not. And he's like, you guys got a whole plan, huh? I'm like, yeah, I kind of got a plan, but you sound like you're gonna have a more fun life or whatever, you know. And he said he tried to go to the liquor store here in America. Like, he's like 17, and he like went in there for his birthday and was like, "What's going on? Like, why can't I get anything?" Like, and then once he came back to school, he kind of told us, and he was like, we explained to him like, "Yeah, man, you gotta be 21 or older." He was like, "Oh man, you know, I've been drinking since I was like 12, 13 years old," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so so yeah, it's a big
Part
deal.
of the culture, we start young. We start everything young.
Yeah, and then that's even with his education. He was like, I like school, but I can go get a job with my dad. And I was like, respect, okay, what your dad do? His dad was an engineer. So he was like, I can just get a job. I can take that path and go. I was like, oh. So I know a little something from at least his experience. But so what made you decide to go and pursue a master's in software engineering?
So after graduating from my bachelor's in media production, I worked in television for a few years
Mm-hmm.
in different roles. And my last role in television, I was a presentation scheduler. So I was literally putting TV schedules together,
Mm-hmm.
putting in all the adverts, the promotions. When you're watching TV, if you still watch TV, like not everyone does, and you see like 10 minutes worth of adverts, and you're like, why is there so many adverts? It was people like me doing that. So apologies.
You're the reason. You're the reason we
Yeah,
got all this
apologies. Apologies.
commercial.
I had to pay my salary. I need to get paid.
I understand. You had to take
I
care of
got
your
bills.
business.
So I'll be the one putting like, why there's so many adverts? I'm like, ugh, so annoying.
That's
But which is great. I'm like, I would say to people, I'm like, why are you watching this TV show? Because I put in like 1 billion hours worth of adverts. So don't watch this show.
wow. So you was like inform your friends and family, like, look, don't watch this.
Yeah.
They got
Or
a
like,
lot of ads on
I'm
there.
like, the adverts are going to start at this time. So if you need to go and start cooking or something, like,
Mhm. Go
I
ahead.
can help you schedule your life around this TV show.
That's amazing, man. So like, how has it been like your day to day working at a place like Harry Inc? How has it been like?
No, I don't think I actually answered. I'm not answering your questions. You're asking them. I'm going in like a long-winded story to get
Oh,
to
you
the
fine.
answer.
You fine what you're doing. You fine how you doing that. I like how you're going about it.
So how I got into software engineering question.
Yeah.
So when I was working in television, the software we used was just the worst. I'm trying not to swear on this because it's family friendly, we're trying to monetize. Like it was bad. And people on my team were getting RSI. Like, why is the software injuring us? It was that bad. We had to click so much and people were getting injured. Like, ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, I would see people coming in and I'm like, oh, what's wrong with your wrist? Or the clicking, innit? I'm like,
Toner and stuff. Oh wow.
and it was common in the team for someone to be having a band on their wrist because of all the repetitive clicking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one point where only half the team could get to use the software at a time because it couldn't handle so many users. There was like 10 people on my team, but it couldn't handle so many users. It was just really bad. So I got impatient, and after trying to speak to like IT support and not really getting anywhere, I'm like, I need you to put me through to people who can actually make a difference because I'm running out of patience now. So when I was able to go and sit with like the developers with my long list of what I now realize is called bugs. I didn't at the time. I was just like, here's my issues. Can you please help fix them? I've been Googling this error message and I've been on this website called Stack Overflow. And like, who the hell is this girl? Like, for like, oh, do you know about technology? I'm like, no, I just want to fix a problem.
Right. He's like, look, I don't know anything about anything, but I want to know what's going on.
But I want to know. And if you can tell me what's going on, that'd be great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, maybe this is what you should be doing in life. And I'm like, doing what? Still no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what are you even saying to me? Like, what are you asking me? Like, you should maybe think about working in technology. I was like, oh, okay. Went home, did a bit of research. I saw that a university near where I lived was doing a part-time master's in software engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm going to sign up. Why not?
Wow. So that's how you just got into engineering right there.
That's how I just got into it. And the first thing learning was C++. I went from knowing nothing to C++ overnight. And I was like,
Oh yeah, I like C++.
oh,
It was cool.
I like C++ now. I didn't then.
When I was learning, we don't like anything when we learn. It's like, hey, I'm learning. And sometimes when you have to use it, it's like I gotta use this again. I don't remember this because if you don't use it, you lose it.
You forget. All right, exactly.
Kind of just how it goes with the technology world. So I like the way you're answering your question. It's going great, man. You like actually have a different draw into like how the show goes. So thank you so far.
Oh, thank you.
So how is it like your day-to-day job now? Like now that you're a software engineer, like how is it?
Now that I am a software engineer, I've only been at Harry's for about 9 months. I started in January.
Okay.
And it's all right. It's a cool place. So I'm working on like the design system. I've been doing more front end focused stuff. So I work on a design system. We're building the website's built in React and TypeScript. Mm-hmm. So I was doing JavaScript for quite a while. So mostly C++ type languages, Java type language. And then I found JavaScript and I'm like, oh, I can get away with no types. This is exciting.
Right. I like JavaScript. I use JavaScript now. So yeah, I like
JavaScript. It's like I can get away with so much.
It's like, thank you so much. Right? You use this? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work over there, but it's gonna work. Yeah, it's gonna work
today. Exactly. I've been coming to Harris like, oh, type languages? Yeah, you got experience. Yeah, TypeScript. And I'm like, oh, damn it. I'm like, back to type language. Okay. All right. I mean,
was you able to get training in your 9 months of being there? Like a little bit of training or learn a lot of stuff?
Yeah. I'm the sort of person I learn as I'm doing, fortunately. So I'm like, throw me in at the deep end. Okay. It might take me a while, but I will get there eventually. And I'll ask a lot of questions on my way there. I'm like, who's got free time? I've got a dumb question to ask.
That's amazing. No question. See, it's no question. That's a dumb question. But when you ask the question,
exactly.
I actually ask a lot of questions even to this day. I've been in the software field for years now, and say now this is my second year, almost my second year in my full-time job. And it's like I ask questions all the time. Like I'm a new person. Like I'm a sophomore all the time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how you doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. Even if I know what I'm doing, it's like, that's a little bit too easy. And you look over there.
I do the exact same thing. I am comfortable with being like, can you please explain to me like I'm 5 years old?
Mm-hmm. Like, just break it down to me. And then some people probably be like, oh, I don't want it. And then you got to find the right people. Like, hey, I'll break it down to you, cool. And they be some engineer, like, real tenured guy be like, hey, yeah, you do this and this and this. And like, can you slow it down a little more? Oh, yeah, you do this. And then this is why this is work like this. And it's like, okay, thank you. Because I need that. Because I want to be as advanced as you one day, but I'm not there. And I'm going to take my time to get there. So I respect that. Like, a lot of people in the tech field won't, like, admit to that. I definitely will. I'm a student to the game always. I'm like, look, I need to learn. I don't know.
Every day. I learn something new every day. And some days my brain's just not switched on. And they'll be like, you knew this yesterday, but like, today's a different day. You know?
I forgot.
I'm not that
awake. I went home. I forgot. You know.
Yeah. I literally, my brain reboots every morning. And I'm like, I'm refreshed. Treat me like I'm brand new.
You come in like a new computer every morning. Like, look,
every morning. I'm like, what are we doing again? that is definitely me. I'm like, what day is it today? Like, be it from working from home all the time. I'm like, it's either a work day or it's a weekend. I'm like, depends on what time my alarm goes off. If it's early, I'm like, oh, today's a work day. Okay. If I get a bill, I'm like, oh, it's a weekend. Okay, right.
I'm like, look, I ain't been to the office and I don't know when. I'm just sitting here like, I work from home today? Oh, okay, cool. I work from home. I work from home for life. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's like, okay, you kind of get used to it over time, man. So, like, what do you do in your spare time outside of work in tech?
In tech. So at the moment, I'm helping out at a coding bootcamp for Black women to get them into tech. It started last month. It's based in Birmingham in England, so the middle of England. And I am creating the JavaScript content of the course. and I'm also a mentor to two of the ladies who are taking part. So they've just finished their HTML and CSS section. And then last week, bless them all, they jumped into my section and I was like, and here are functions. I'm like, and they were like, I was like, yeah. I was like, I know you've just done HTML and CSS only, but here are functions. And in JavaScript, you have multiple types of functions.
Mm-hmm.
They were like,
pretty sure you break it down right for them so they can be fine. I'm pretty sure. But like when you throw stuff at people, I know in like this field, a lot of people like, what is that? And why is this going on this way? You know, it's kind of one of those. I'm gonna make sure you learn it the way that I wish I learned it, so that you can be more. You know, that's
exactly right.
So, why do you do what you do? Like, what's your it factor?
So I'm realizing now that my it factor is my voice. Like I'm opinionated, but I'm also not scared to ask questions and to be my actual self. Because when you go into work, you have to put on you got your mask, you got your work mask, and then I've got into the point now. I'm like, I'm not having that work mask anymore. I am who I am, and I'm walking in as I am. And if you don't like, because I've got the skills, and the thing is, I've got the skills, and you need my skills to help you with whatever products you're building.
Right.
So if you can't accept me who I am, I guess I can go somewhere else, right?
And I respect that though, because you're one of those people, and most women are, that go into a room and own the room.
I don't say own the room, but I'm like, this is who I am. Like if you can't accept me in my braids, you're not gonna get me in my suit.
Right.
I went to my interview and Harry's with. Say that again.
I said all I can be is me. You know. So
exactly.
All that trying to change up and switch up. Like when I first started at my job, I was trying to do that, and it was like, you know what? Let me just be Jeremy. Like, let me just go in here and do my work. I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
If you guys don't like the way I'm here, like I can go find another job, you know, or find another.
That's what I'm saying. I've now realized that my purpose in life is not to go and work in an office building someone else's product. I've got another purpose in life.
Right.
This just happens to pay my bills.
Same. That's my same thing now. That's kind of how I started this show, because it's like I want to work to be a college professor, so I'm getting my MBA, Master's Business and Association. So I'm like trying to figure out. Administration, and I'm trying to figure out how. I was trying to figure out how I can like do that now, like try to get stuff, like try to figure out how I can get to know multiple people, stuff like that. And I was sitting there like, man, let me start a YouTube show, you know, where I highlight my people and I'm able to show them different facets of the STEM, tech, entertainment, any type of field of what people are doing, and they'll be able to know like when they're growing up, even in the US or out the country, they'll know like this is some of the things that you can do. Like these are all the options that you need to have. Just like you were saying, I didn't know that about, but now kids are going to be able to know, because once they watch this, they're going to be like, wow, there were two software developer and software engineer, and they're black and they doing this. Like, I didn't know we could do this. It's like, yeah, you can. You can do anything you mind to. You got to see it.
He's wearing a Death Row t-shirt.
Right.
Like, maybe I got a Death Row t-shirt. Maybe I can do what he can do.
You're right. You're right, man. So, like, I would say, do you have any questions for me?
How is working full-time and studying? I did that and it was crazy, but how are you coping with it?
Man, look, it's crazy. Like, it's one of those, I have to pray about it and be like, look, what we're going to do today? What's going to happen? Every obstacle I can say in school, I kind of was able to manage it with my boss, like having a great boss at work to kind of explain like, hey, I'm having finals this week, or hey, look, I'm taking 2 classes. I know I was supposed to be just taking 1, but I'm trying to get this program over. What can we do? So I would say that communication with him, and also with my professors, kind of understanding that I'm in a fast break program. Like it's like 10 courses, then you get your MBA. And I was kind of skeptical at first, because I'm like, I love school, but I'm one of those people that like to do that one thing at the time, like let me do school and let it be school. But I have worked and went to school as well in undergrad, but it's way different when you're full-time versus part-time. So I would say that I learned time management is kind of key to what I had done, and also like having a free time to like spend time with your family, you know, your friend, things of that nature, because it helps you not become a routine person. Like, oh, I got to do school. Oh, I got this homework. I got this. It kind of help you to slow down and like regain life and be like, you know what, I can focus on multiple things, but this is what I'm doing right now. So it's kind of one of those, having time management and having a plan of how you're going to approach those classes and work kind of helped me to be able to be successful in doing both.
Do you think you're a plan person? Do you think you like to have plans in place for like life in general?
I would say I was that person. Tried to have like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and by this age, I'm gonna have this done. But once I realized, I was like, this path is not my own. It was like, look, this is what we're gonna try to do. We're gonna try a lot. Like, and if we fail at it, it's actually good to fail. So if I'm able to set out a goal and I achieve it, it's great. And if not saying I'm gonna give up on it. Like, I'm not gonna, just because I didn't achieve it when I wanted to. I don't believe that. I don't believe in plans anymore, like planning to do this or this and that. But when I was younger, I would say yes. I was like, oh, I gotta do this and I gotta do this. And you know, it's like, nah, that's not how life works.
No, it's not. And even when things don't go to plan and they fail, it's always a learning lesson, right? You can always learn from it and progress. I think people forget about like, oh, it just didn't work. I'm like, yeah, but what did you learn while you were doing it?
Because you learn a lot from your failures. You learn more from failures than success. Because in your failures, that's when it shows what type of person you're gonna be. Like, it's like, hey, how am I gonna act? Like, don't get me wrong, I done failed a lot. And it'd be like, I might done wrong in school or something. It'd be like, man, school over. I'm failing class. I got to see, man, what's going on. Now I think about it, like, well, Jeremy, still passed the class. You're gonna be fine. Like, just keep going. And I learn. I'm not only doing this path for myself. It's like it's other people watching me. No matter what, like what I'm doing, somebody watching me and saying, you know, I want to be that person. You know, dang, I want to be like him, man. And it's like what I look like saying in my failure and being pitied. Like, of course, I'm human, so I'm gonna feel some type of way for a little while. Like, man, I'm bad. Da da da. Then after a while, it's gonna be like, well, look, still got to put on. What can we do next? Like, what's the next step to move on? So I'm always looking for that next step to try to go ahead and grow and pull myself up in the midst of pulling somebody else up. So
that's a good way to think of life and everything.
Yes. So I would say that's pretty much it. Do you have anyone you want to shout out?
Oh, so many people. We don't have time for this. I'll take over like another hour. I'll turn this into an Oscar speech, and you put on music to like get me off stage. It's like, if you know me, hi.
But no, thank you so much for being on the show. I look forward to actually working with you in the future. If you need anything from me, let me know. And also, in a couple more weeks, of course, our video will be airing and coming out. I do it off of YouTube, and I'll be sending you more information. But thank you for the day. You know, thank you for being the first person outside the country to actually reach back out to me.
Oh, I feel really special. Like,
you actually my episode 21, so it's beautiful, man. So whenever I do get merchandise and things of that nature, I actually am going to send out to the people that have been on before and in the future. So I can definitely stay in touch.
That'd be nice.
So yeah, man, I look forward to working with you in the future. And thank you so much for this episode. Talk to you soon.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, you.